Hi everybody, Tara here. We are live with Live Pro Talk. Today we are talking about the industry favorite adhesives. So if you have any questions during any of this live, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I will get to any questions that I can within this half hour, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we're going to start off. I'm going to start talking about some of the industry favorites out there and kind of when you would use them, what they would be good for, which systems they would be good for, and then kind of go from there. So we're going to first start off with tapes. Now, a funny thing with tapes, I do find that a lot of people always think that a tape needs to be used with a glue, and that's not always the case. Believe it or not, using a tape by itself in the summertime actually can be better for you than using a tape with a glue in the summertime. As the body heat kind of gets a little bit warmer with the humidity outside or whatever's going on, a lot of the times if you have a glue and you have a tape and then they both start breaking down at the same time because of the humidity or the heat outside or because you're working out a little bit more, they start to get really slippery against each other. And then essentially what ends up happening is you actually have to do more servicing. So keep that in mind when you are applying a tape and a glue. If you find that at certain times of the year, for example, if you're working out or if it's getting a little humid out and you feel that the system's not lasting you as long, take the glue away, see if that works a little bit better for you. Sometimes you can actually get a little longer out of your tape if you're not using the glue. Now, that's not always the case. Sometimes using the glue works better for you, and we'll talk a little bit about the glues in a second here. So when you're kind of looking at tapes, there's obviously various tapes that you can use depending on how you're wanting to attach your system in general. One of the first off, we're going to start with 1522, or this is your daily tape. This is your tape that you're going to wear if you're wearing a system that is kind of getting put on, taken off daily. This isn't going to last you a long time. It is literally going to last you a day. And then once you need to reapply, you're going to have to literally take that tape off and reapply. Tape like this, you're going to use this on a poly base or a thicker skin. You will not be using this on lace. It's not going to stick and it's going to drive you crazy. So you don't really want to use a daily tape on lace systems or lace front systems. It's really not going to give you that hold. So a lot of the times, even if you're looking to do a removal every night, you might want to go with a stronger tape just for the purpose of sticking to that lace, because this one, you're going to be struggling with it every single time. You're going to try to put it on, it's going to come off the lace really, really easily. However, using this with a poly base or even this thicker skin, you can definitely get this to hold for a day, and then you can take it off at night, remove the tape, and go again from there. So this is your 1522 or your daily tape. So it is one that is used a lot in the industry. Now then there's your red tape. Your red tape is also a daily tape, but you're going to get a few days out of it. So usually about 1 to 4 days with your daily tape. And that's going to at least give you a little bit stronger of hold. You can usually get your daily tape, the red one, to kind of stick on your lace base a little better. But it is going to be a little tricky sometimes also. So it is something that you want to kind of take into consideration when using any kind of daily tape on a lace system. This works really great on poly. It also works really great on skin. I always say red tape is really great if, say, you're going to be doing something a little extra. Going to Wonderland, going to a theme park, going on a roller coaster. You're going to be like flying around in the air. You don't want that system to kind of fly off. Using a tape like this is going to obviously help it stick a little bit longer than just your daily tape. So I always suggest that a red tape is honestly a really great option for individuals who might be doing something a little extra that day. Maybe they're going to be on a motorbike or in a convertible car. The wind's blowing through their hair. They're a little paranoid. The red tape's really going to be a great option for that. Now, when I'm talking about hold, one of my favorite, I would say even here in general, like all of our technicians really love Ultra Hold tape. So Ultra Hold tape is going to give you like 2 to 4 weeks hold, and it does tell you this right on the plastic container itself. 2 to 4 weeks. Now, I always say it can be anywhere in between there. You can last exactly 2, you can last exactly 4, you can last 3. But again, this can be used completely by itself. So you have the option to use this tape by itself without any kind of glues or adhesives on top of it, and you're still getting that 2 to 4 week hold. So that's something to take in consideration. It is a very, very, very sticky tape. This tape is going to, like, even when you're using it on your fingers, it sticks a lot. So it has some good adhesion behind it. And like I said, this is one of our favorite products here at Super Hair Pieces. I know all the technicians love this tape. So if you haven't tried it, maybe you're looking for something that's going to last a little longer, maybe, give it a try. See if you do like it. See if it's better than what you're currently using. It is worth a try. I know for myself, it is probably my go-to whenever I'm doing systems. Now, this kind of tape you want to use, you can use this on lace, you can use this on poly, you can use this on a thicker skin. And when I say a thicker skin, I mean any of this is like the M101. You don't want to go with the HD111 or the M111. Those systems are way too thin to be using tape. You run the risk of ripping the system when you're trying to clean it off. Even me, as a professional in this industry a very long time, I get very nervous trying to take any kind of tape off of a very thin skin base. So keep in mind that the thin skin systems, you should really be using one of the white glues, the Ghost Bonds, the Safe Grip. Anything like that is going to work best on a very thin skin system, but we'll get into that afterwards. You definitely don't want to be using something that's going to stick really good, because the chances of you getting this tape off without ripping your system is going to be very small. So that's the Ultra Hold. As we were talking before, we also have blue lace front tape. Blue lace front tape is probably one of those products out there that has been around forever. There was at one point in time a shortage of blue lace tape out there in the industry, and everybody panicked because this is one of the favorites out there. The tape itself has a tendency of breaking down and getting a little bit gooey, but it does work really nicely on lace front systems, all lace systems, but you can also use it on poly-based systems and thicker skin bases. It's not just for lace. It works great for any kind of base. Again, you want to steer away from the very thin base systems because, again, trying to get it off without ripping is going to be very hard to do. 2 to 4 weeks, again, for lace front tape. So, it does have a long hold. I really do not like using this with a glue. As this product here, as it breaks down, it does get gummy. I believe when you use it with a glue, it's like twice as bad. So you really want to use lace front tape just on its own. You don't want to use it with another adhesive. It really doesn't give you any extra benefit. I believe it actually, makes it worse in the end. So that's our lace front tape. Another really great tape is the No Shine. So No Shine tape it does have a very strong hold. Again, you're 2 to 4 weeks for this one. The great thing with No Shine is it actually has a matte backing. So when you're putting it on your system, through your system, sometimes what happens, people who are under lights, or maybe they have a thinner lace system or something that's more visible where you see the scalp, sometimes what you do is you see that band of tape at the front. What this tape does is it actually helps to decrease the shininess of that band. So the No Shine is, you still have a really great hold with it, 2 to 4 weeks, but again, it's not going to have that shine. It has a matte coating to it, which really kind of mattifies that look of the tape underneath any kind of lights, or if you have that thinner base. Now, would you need this on a poly system? No, because poly systems, you're not going to see that tape through it regardless. This is going to be more for any lace systems. That's where you're really going to see the benefits of this tape itself. And that's the No Shine. Another one of so an industry favorite. Now, this is, I feel like this tape here has been around forever. If you have any clients older clients that have been in this industry, at some point in time, they probably used this tape. So this is our German brown tape. And German brown has about a 1 to 2 week hold. It is a thicker tape. It has a thicker, almost like, they call it cloth tape also. That's actually what most people will call it in the industry. It's got a thicker layer to it. Not gonna lie, it's not my favorite, but it is one of the industry favorites. So it has been, I think, around the longest, and that's why everybody kind of knows the German brown or cloth tape. I very rarely hear it being called German brown. Usually most people will just say, oh, I have cloth tape. Now, cloth tape always, always, always is used with ultra hold. Always. Because it doesn't last that long. It lasts 1 to 2 weeks. And most people who want cloth tape, they want it to last longer. So I have never seen it not be used with the ultra hold glue. Honestly, it just seems to be synonymous with each other. So most of the time, if you're having anybody use the German brown or the cloth tape, expect to be putting a layer of glue over top of that to get it to last longer, because I think that's the only way it's going to last longer. Again, it's only a 1 to 2 week tape. So it's not a tape that's supposed to last as long as the other ones I just talked about. It really is just a 1 to 2 week, and that's it. Getting away from the Walker tape brown, we also have the super tape. I compare super tape to the ultra hold. For me, it is very similar. It is a really great product. It has a lasting of like 3 to 4 weeks. So it technically is supposed to last a little bit longer than the ultra hold. I can't say whether I've seen a difference to that degree of one that lasts longer than the other, but it is also a really great product to try if you want to try something different. Maybe somebody didn't react to the ultra hold the way you wanted to, and you want to still have something that's really good. The super tape is a really good product to kind of have on hand for keeping that system on there long and making it last as long as possible. And again, it's going to be used all by itself. It does not need to be used with any kind of other adhesive. Again, you can use this on your cloth. Sorry, my bad. Your poly systems, your lace systems, your thicker skin systems, not the thin skin systems. You want to kind of stay away again from the thin skin. You want to kind of just focus on, the materials that you can take this off easier and kind of, play with them a little bit. Now, that being said, one of the things I do want to mention, though it's not quite an adhesive, but it is worth mentioning. So our lace release, I find that a lot of the time we have clients that are, if they're doing their services at home and they're taking their tapes off, especially on a lace, they have a tendency of kind of like ripping the tape off, that hair coming through the base, losing hair, ripping hair out. Even if they're trying to be really gentle. That's where this actual product comes in, which is really nice. So you actually spray this on the area of the system where there's hair. And what that does is it helps to release the adhesive from the actual underside. So you kind of spray it, it breaks down the adhesive. So when you take the adhesive off, it's actually going to come off easier. You're not going to be pulling hair out all the time, but it is a really great product to have. I think anybody who has any kind of lace front system or lace system where they're using tape, this is definitely a must-have in your cabinet, just so you know. So now getting into, so one of the interesting things is we have a lot of different sizing when it comes to the glues and the tapes. So just to talk about some of the sizing, whether if you're using this at home, number one, and you love your product and you really want to have a big amount of it, and because it's more, bang for your buck, getting your 36-inch yard is actually pretty good. You can get 3/4 of an inch, which is, a smaller width. Or you can get a 1 inch, which is going to give you more area coverage around the base. So you can do either or, but this is really a great amount if you're kind of doing a lot of taping. So maybe if you're more of a daily taper or somebody who's going to be taping their system a lot, this is a great size. Versus, I tend to think personally this is really the ideal size to use. It's not going to go bad or dry out or have any issues. Speaking of drying out or issues, do not keep your tapes or your adhesives in the bathroom. I know it seems like a place where it'd be good to keep them. You want an area that is dry, not moist, not high humidity. Humidity can really affect your tapes and glues, so you really want to keep them in a dry place. If you have like a linen closet or somewhere away from the bathroom, that might be ideal where to keep your adhesives. Okay, so yeah, and then there's a small size. So you do have the 3 yards. 3 yards is really good too because you can actually just test a product out. So I find 3 yards is a really great option if you're just looking to kind of try a different adhesive, you're not too sure. You know, there's not much to commit here, so it is a great size also. Comments? Yay. Okay, Dan A, will you talk about hypoallergenic tape? My skin gets red patches. All of our tapes should be hypoallergenic. If you get red patches, can you tell me, do you use tape or do you use glue? And what tape do you use? That might help. Usually if you have an issue with one tape, I always say you can try a different tape. They do have different compositions, just like with our glues. They do have, like the bases are made out of different products. Like for example, Ultra Hold versus Lace Front, you know, they do, all of them are meant for skin. So they are skin safe. If you're getting red patches, you could possibly try using a scalp protector first. If you have that kind of issue, it's kind of hard to say what the red patches are caused by. Most cases, I don't know if you're using a glue. Sometimes glues are more of the culprit than tape. For myself, when I have clients come in with like irritation, what I'll do is I'll actually put a couple different tapes and I'll put that on their head and see which one doesn't affect them. I know that could be a little costly in your case if you're buying stuff yourself, but what I would do is maybe if you haven't tried a different tape, maybe try a different tape and see if you have the same kind of reaction. If it's just red, you know, you're sensitive, and then maybe using a scalp protector might work. If it's getting like, obviously like any kind of pustules or anything like that, then just tape, trying a different brand. Ultra Hold right now. Yeah, so yeah, definitely I would try a different brand. Maybe try the Super Tape. Try it out, see if that might work better for you. Super Tape could be a good option. You can also go to the No Shine, even though if it's not even a lace system, you might want to try the No Shine, see if it might be a little bit different. Because sometimes it's the acrylic-based in the Ultra Hold that might be affecting your skin. I would just try the Super Tape, see if that changes anything for you. Michelle Goodman, I am majority suffering with tape glue. I used to go 4 to 6 weeks with tape or glue. As of lately, only getting 2 to 7 days. Wow, 4 to 6 weeks. So what I would do, Michelle, if you could, I would say take the glue out. See if that helps at all. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but honestly, like if you can take the glue out and just use tape, see if that works. I have actually seen people who have used a product for years and all of a sudden that product doesn't work for them anymore. I don't know why that happens, just our chemistry, our body changes. If that ever does happen, change your product altogether. Try to use something completely different. Sometimes that actually makes the issue better and you start getting hold out of it again. For example, like Extended Bond, this is supposed to last 4 to 6 weeks. I had a client using this for over a year. He had great experience, and then one day his body just started not reacting to it, and it literally would only last him a couple days. So I had to change him to a completely different tape altogether, and then he was fine again. So sometimes changing, just using tape only, glue too messy. Yeah, do you know what tape are you using currently, Michelle? Because I would just maybe try to change your tape and see if that makes a difference. Talking about, so this one here, just as I'm waiting for that answer there, this is our Extended Bond. Extended Bond, it looks like a tape, but this is actually a solid glue. So it goes on, it cuts like tape, it goes on like tape, but this breaks down like glue. And essentially what happens is it will actually get gummy and gooey and all that stuff. It's essentially, the reason it was made was because it's supposed to be like a glue you can use for lace systems. That's why it has the holes. It's perforated so that the system will still breathe through the tape. That's essentially why it was made. A lot of people are using it with poly systems or skin. And then they find that it has a really bad odor to it. That's because it's technically made for lace. That's what it was essentially made for. So if you really do have a chemistry kind of combativeness with this adhesive here, it does actually smell pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. So if that's the case with you, you need to change it and move on to something else. But it is a great product. I used Walker Ultra Hold on HD11. The trick was found on Reddit post. Don't remove it with C22. Soak it in lukewarm water for minimally 3 hours. It will come off without pulling. Yeah, definitely. That's, yeah. Is that Ultra Hold? Oh, for the Ultra Hold tape. Yeah, you can definitely do that if you have the time to soak it for 3 hours. Unfortunately, here we can't soak systems for 3 hours. We have to wash them and go. But yeah, you can definitely do that if you want to soak the system. Say if you have 2 systems and you soak one for 3 hours and the other one you use right away. That can definitely work if you want to be very careful. I just like to make a warning that if you're going to use tape on a HD111 or an M111, that you are running a risk that you could rip it. So what you do with that afterwards is completely up to you. Tom, I had redness until I used scalp protector, also reduces itching. Yeah, it so does. I mean, scalp protector is amazing. I think that, everybody should be using it. It does put that barrier on your skin and it helps to protect the skin. So try that out if you are getting any kind of redness. If that still doesn't work, definitely try changing your tape or your glue. There's so many things you can use out there, and really it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to kind of change it up a little bit. Sometimes our bodies just change and we have to change up what we're doing. Matthew, which tape would you recommend for a beginner? Well, that all depends, Matthew, on how long you want to leave the hair system on for. If you're going for daily use, I would say the red tape is great. If it's a poly system. If you're looking for something that's going to last you a lot longer, and you want to have that hold, like to have as long as possible, the Ultra Hold. If it's a lace system, the No Shine. That's kind of where I would be if I was looking for, so lace system, No Shine, poly system, Ultra Hold if you want that extra hold, because they're both going to last 2 to 4 weeks. Daily hold, go with, say, the red tape. The red tape would be really good for a daily wear. All right, so on to the next. So we're just going to talk. So one of the other things we do have too, also just kind of with the tapes, is the pre-cuts. These are like a lifesaver, especially at the front of the hairline. They're pre-cut into like the shape, so you can actually use them to go around the perimeter. They're really easy to use too if you're a beginner and you don't want to be cutting tape and rounding it out, because a lot of the time you're going with the tape and you're trying to cut it so that it's a circle. These are actually, because they're perforated in the middle, you can actually have the rounded edge and kind of go around the hair piece and just do it that way. We have literally every tape in a pre-cut. So whatever you're looking for, we have it in a pre-cut version also, including the Extend-A-Bond. We have that in pre-cuts, or you can buy it and just cut it from here. That's fine. Our sizes, we have basically the CC shape, a C shape, which is just slightly a little bit rounded. We have the A shape, which is going to give you that really nice A curve. So if you have a very, distinct A line at the front hairline, these ones work. And then we also have the straight, which is just a straight across. Up to you how you want to use it. I find C and CC are usually the ones that most people will purchase. I think they work the best. CC is one of my favorites. I like to use these ones a lot, especially for front hairlines. Again, I cut them in the middle and I kind of just put them around the front perimeter to kind of do that nice edge. It's clean, it's easy. You don't have to be worrying about cutting a whole bunch of tape up. So just something to kind of think about. Those are really great products. So that's our tape. So now we're going to get into some of the glues in the industry, industry favorites, I guess you could say. So to start off, I'm going to talk about the Ultra Hold. So Ultra Hold, and we have like different sizes. So we have like the bigger one, medium, tiny small one. Ultra Hold, this is an acrylic-based glue. It is one of the industry favorite glues. It's going to add that extra hold to your system. Usually you might get an extra week, maybe 2 if you use the glue. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when you add the glue, you get that little extra hold. The issue with this glue here is less is actually more. You don't want to go crazy with this glue. Doing lots of layers actually works to the opposite effect with Ultra Hold. You're not going to get a stronger hold out of this glue by going in and adding more and more layers. You're actually going to end up having it do the opposite. It's going to come off faster. So thinner layers, and make sure when you're using it, the main thing is when you're putting it on, if you touch it and it still has like little filaments coming off of it, it's not dry. You have to wait till it's dry. Once it's dry, you can then put the system on or use the system at that point. It's going to literally just have a tack, so you can touch it. It's not going to be all stringy. It's just going to be tacky. Usually 5 to 7 minutes, so keep that in mind. Some people get a little overzealous. They put their glue on, they throw on their system. It's still slipping and sliding around. You want to kind of be careful when you're doing that. You don't want to kind of go crazy with this glue and then put it on too quick. You got to give it the time to literally cure and get tacky. That's where you're going to get the best results out of this glue. So this is a great glue. This is an acrylic-based glue. I want to reiterate something. Though this glue is amazing, this is also the glue I find people have their first reaction to. So, you know, it's not like it's going to be a huge percentage because a lot of people use this glue, but when people do usually have a reaction, I find it's to this glue more than any of the other ones. So that's the first thing I'll do. If I have a client who is having a reaction, I will take this glue away, use just tape, see how they react. If they're fine, I know it was the glue, and then we just don't use it. But, you know, if not, then we try something else. Maybe we take the tape away, we use a different tape. So we'll go from there. But I would have to say 98% of the time, it's this glue. So that's not to say it's bad, but because I have a lot of clients that use this glue, a lot, that have no reaction. But when someone does have a bit of a reaction, it's usually the culprit. So just keep that in mind for future reuse. Mighty Tight. So Mighty Tight is essentially, Mighty Tight and Ultra Hold are pretty much the same thing. The actual ingredients are the same. This one has more alcohol. They're going to do the exact same thing. You have to let this one dry longer. It's going to take a little longer to dry. It's not going to hold as long because it does have a higher alcohol content. The reason why I love this product is a lot easier to use for touch-ups than this one is. This one gets very stringy, like really stringy. I know as a professional, I have like, you know, sometimes strings are all over the place. It's very hard to use. So imagine someone at home who doesn't really do this much trying to use this glue. It's sometimes a bigger pain in the butt, especially for a touch-up. Now, if you're doing a touch-up, these little bottles here, they have a little tiny brush inside. You literally go in, you take out the little brush, and you just do little touch-ups. So say if you have your system on, you would pull your system back, you would go in at a little bit of a touch-up, let it dry completely, and then you're gonna push it back down. So that's, I prefer the Mighty Tight for those kind of situation. Quick fixes, you know, it's easier to use, it's less sticky, it's less gummy, it doesn't get all over the place. It's a little cleaner of a product to use when you are doing any kind of touch-ups on your hairline. So that's the Mighty Tight and the Ultra Hold. Again, both of these products are your acrylic base. Then we have our water-based glue, which is the Ghost Bond. There's also a couple other different products out there that do have the same kind of water-based white glue. Ghost Bond is probably one of the industry favorites. I mean, a lot of people use this product. They know about it. It is one of my favorite products to use. Currently, I would say Ghost Bond Supreme. Supreme is my new favorite. I don't know if any of you know what Supreme is. Supreme has like, it basically is really great if you are under lights. So what it does is it actually mattifies the glue. So if you're using it, say with a lace system, you're not seeing that shine coming through. So say if you're on TV, maybe you're doing TikToks, I don't know, being on YouTube, if you're in front of cameras a lot, Supreme is actually a really great product to use. I have been using it quite a bit lately. I'm really kind of loving it. It's my new go-to. I go through little phases, but this is my new favorite right now is the Supreme version. But any of the Ghost Bonds are actually made for either number one, all skin bases, or number two, all lace bases. Those systems are ideal with using Ghost Bond glue. You would put this, you could use this on thin skin, thicker skin. If you're going to use this with a lace-based system, the trick is to put it on the head, not on the system. Don't put it on the system if it's lace, because it's just going to go through and you're going to have a whole mess. You want to then put it only on the head. How many layers you use? You can use 2, 3. The manufacturer says up to 6. I'm not going to lie, I've never used 6, ever. I don't even think I've used 4. I think the maximum I've used is 3 layers, and usually it's 2 layers on a client and 1 layer on a system. Never had any issues with that. I feel that 3 layers is usually more than suffice. The key with this product is when you put it on, you put on a very thin layer, you let it dry till it's clear, and then if you're adding another layer, you would do it at that point. Wait till it's clear. You don't want to have goopiness or spots that are still white and then put the system on, because it's not dry and it's not gonna, if it's not dry, it's not cured. If it's not cured, it's not gonna hold properly. So with any of your glue, like your white glues, and that's any of them, you have to wait till they're clear to put on another layer, and you have to make sure those layers are fully dry before you're gonna go in and attach a system or attach the lace. Once they're fully dry, you're going to get a good adhesion. The main key with any of our adhesions out there is we really want to make sure that you wait 24 to 48 hours before getting your head wet. Yes, 24 to 48 hours. Your glues and tapes have to cure properly to your skin. If you're not waiting a right amount of time, you're basically going to have lifting very, very quickly too. So that means no major sweatings at the gym. We don't want you going swimming in a pool right away. Don't go sit under the sun at the beach. Stay out of the water at the beach. You don't want to be taking a shower. You don't want to be going in a sauna. Any of those activities where you're going to get your head really sweaty or really wet, you really want to avoid for that 24 to 48 hours. Minimum 24 hours. If you can do 24, you're at least good there. Then after that, you can do all your normal activity. But if you're going and doing anything before that, you're going to really risk the chance of that system lifting or coming off sooner than what you want. So keep that in mind. James Dexter, what's the best way to remove Ghost Bond from M111? So Ghost Bond and M111, I would say if you're using any of our products, you could use the C22. You can also use the Rapid Release. These two are really great products for kind of any removal. We have like a little tray in the back, and we literally just kind of like put it all in a tray, like a little bit in the tray, so there's some in the bottom. And I take my system and I have it flipped in there, and it's literally soaking. As it soaks, that Ghost Bond will start to break down. We literally use like an old credit card or old, old card that you don't need. And then you would scrape off the layers. I know it's kind of a messy thing. Scrape off the layers, let it soak again. If you don't want to do it that way, you can literally just spray it on upside down, let it break down, scrape it off, spray again, let it break down, scrape it off until you basically have removed all of it. At that point, you would then go in and wash it with your soap and water to get any residue off. Rapid Release is going to do it faster than C22, but make sure you're in a well-ventilated area and you're wearing gloves, because this stuff's a little strong. The C22 is going to be a little less, it kind of smells like orange, a little less, hard on the senses, But again, you want to still wear gloves, spray it down, let it sit. So either or is a really great product to use if you're using the Ghost Bond. There's also, I don't know if I have it here. I don't. There's also the H2O Go, which is also made to break down Ghost Bond. So that's H2O Go. That is a product that we do use for removing the adhesive, the Ghost Bond adhesive. And we do have that on our site also. So that's a product that's supposed to help to break it down. Again, you would just kind of spray it on, let that soak in. What glue can I use if my clients don't want to shave their heads? Ooh. Yeah, that's a hard one. If they're not willing to shave their heads, I'd say you're better off with tape. Glue is going to be a really big mess in their hair, and you're not really going to get a good adhesion there because it's just going to kind of move around with the hair underneath. I would say you're better off to use a tape. Even at that point, you're almost better off to just clip in the hair systems. If they're really not looking to shave their heads at all, it might be better off to just have them as a clipped-in system and use some, use some tape at the front or some glue at the front. If they say they have no hair at the front, then you can go in with something at the front. But as for putting glue on their actual hair, I wouldn't recommend it. It's going to be a big mess for if you're cleaning it off afterwards or they're cleaning it off afterwards. It is going to be a big mess. So I don't recommend using glue on an individual who's wearing hair, unfortunately. What is the difference between Ghost Bond Supreme and Ghost Bond Premium? Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. I've used them all. And it's funny because I know some are supposed to work a little better than others. With the Supreme, the difference is the actual color of the product itself. So it kind of has like a different tone to it. It almost kind of looks grayish. It does still dry clear, but I don't know if I can see. Oh, it's locked. I can't open this. Sorry, guys. It does have almost a slight color hue to it. It is made to look better under the lights. So it doesn't actually, the difference is it's not shiny. So when it dries, it doesn't have that shine to it underneath the lace. So if you're wearing a lace system and you're underneath the lights, or you have an exposed hairline and you're underneath that light, basically the Supreme is going to give you more of a matte look. It's not going to shine under the lights. It's not going to look like you're sweating or shiny or whatever. So on skin, is it going to make a difference? No, you can use the other one if that's first. But if you're using the Ghost Bond with lace, that's where you want to use the Supreme because the Supreme is going to give you that matted look. So it definitely doesn't look so shiny and kind of out there underneath any kind of lights. So if you're on camera, if you're doing any kind of photography, or perhaps maybe you're just outside, you have a thinner system, you have an exposed hairline, you don't want to be in the sun seeing like your head shine, that's where the Supreme's going to be a little bit more effective for your client. I use a wooden lollipop stitch to apply just a throwaway after. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, those are great to use. If you use the wooden lollipop sticks, those are great to use. We also have silicone brushes that we sell that are pretty awesome. I like them because they clean off so easy because they're silicone, so glue doesn't stick to them. Like literally once it's dry, I put paper towel in and go, all comes off. So, and then you're reusing it. But wooden popsicle sticks also works really great for applying any of the glues, definitely. Just right positioning spray, does it reduce hold time? No, it shouldn't reduce the hold time because it just evaporates. I mean, it is a very good question. I haven't actually put it to the test. But no, it isn't supposed to actually reduce any kind of hold time because basically all it is it's just there. So if anybody doesn't know what this is, so just the Just Right Positioning Spray, this is really good if you're using a glue, even tapes actually, and you're trying to get that system on in a way before it, sticks. So the biggest problem, I guess, you have glue or tape, You got to put the system on. Once it's on, it's on. You're not moving that. It's not budging. It's not going anywhere. So if you got a crooked or lopsided or you got a wrinkle or something in it when you're putting on your piece, that can be very frustrating. So basically your Just Right positioning spray, this is to be used so that you can kind of stick it on, move it around, get it exactly where you want it. And then as it evaporates, everything starts to stick. So that shouldn't be affecting it. I don't know, Michelle, if you've just started using it, if it's something you started using and then you notice everything's not lasting as long, maybe take it out and see if that changes things. But it really shouldn't, because it does. It's just about once it evaporates, your system's on there, so it really shouldn't affect it to that degree. Vaseline. I used Vaseline for daily wear. What do you mean Vaseline for daily wear? Oh, you're using Vaseline? Yeah, Vaseline definitely is going to affect your if it's not lasting on you anymore. You know what I mean? Like if it's not sticking. I mean, Vaseline has a very oily substance, so that'll definitely, you do have to make sure your head is nice and clean and there's no any oily residue left on your skin before attaching anything is going to really affect how long it lasts. I don't care how great this is, instead of glue or tape. Vaseline, you use Vaseline instead of glue or tape? I don't know. I've never really heard of that. I mean, Vaseline is an oily product, so definitely isn't going to last very long if you're using Vaseline. It's too oily for the skin. It has no adhesion to it, right? So I don't know what how that would possibly work, unfortunately. That could be causing it not to stick, though. I mean, if you're using Vaseline, it's a petroleum jelly, right? So it is an oil base, so that's definitely going to affect you not sticking properly if that be the case. I'd take out the Vaseline. Probably help the situation. All right, do we have any other questions today, guys? No, nothing more. Okay, well, I think we're at about that time, right? Are we about that time? We're about that time. So I do appreciate everyone for showing up today. Thank you so much for coming into our live. I hope you did get some information, some useful information. We will be doing more lives like this on various products and information to kind of help you guys out. So if you ever want to join us, feel free to look out for our emails. And anyway, that's it for me. I hope you guys had a great night and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.